good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today we are back on the educational-ish, man. I feel like y'all have not been, you know what I'm saying, receiving the educations that y'all need. I feel like a lot of people be sleeping on Gen Z or the newer generation, saying that, oh, they're uneducated, oh, they ain't got no focus, oh, this and that. And I don't like that, man. I don't like that they putting that on a whole generation. I don't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, people just ain't really believing in what the youth got to offer. So I'm taking it in my hands to really inspire the youth and to teach the youth. So we are bringing back educational NAS, man. We are bringing back school, bro. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, we could take the time to learn a thing or two, whether that's history, whether that's whatever, man, geography, you know what I'm saying. We are on that educational ish, you feel me? Now, the video we are going to be watching today is called 23 Deadliest Places in the World You Don't Want to Visit. Now, I've never watched this video before. I don't know what they're going to be presenting to me. One thing I do know is that I come from one of the craziest spots. So I'm saying, if Winnipeg ain't in here, I know the whole video cap, bro. I'm telling you right now, if Winnipeg is not in this list, bro, this whole video is cap, bro. Y'all don't know what happens in the south side, man, the north-south, bro. It really get treacherous down there, you feel me? So I know for a fact there was a reason why I left and shit like that, bro. Shit get wicked out there, bro. Oh! That's the wild, wild south, bro. That's the wild, wild south north, bro. Oh! You know what I'm saying? Shit get cold as a bitch up there, you know what I'm saying? But let's see what they talking about. 23 deadliest places in the world. And yeah, man, like I said, bro, this whole video going out the window if Winnipeg is not there, bro. Because I know what I seen, bro. I know what I seen.
An island of death. A lake that will melt your skin. A road where a day trip becomes a death trap. And my bathroom.
Bro, that's literally a trip downtown, bro. You go downtown Winnipeg, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, bro. I'm telling you, shit get wicked in Winnipeg, bro. Oh! Yo, apparently some arson's going down in Winnipeg. Yo, mind you, to everybody out there in Winnipeg, be safe. You know, I'm praying for all the business owners, people who are experiencing the fires and the arsons, bro. This shit's not funny. But I'm saying, bro, shit go down in Winnipeg. So I'm really gonna compare this shit to where I'm from, because I feel like a lot, like, it don't get talked about, but like that place really got it, bro.
After gas station sushi. The world is full of places where one wrong move can get you killed. Some of these risks are obvious. Some are so easy to miss. If you like these geography adventures, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll replace latitude and longitude with vibes. Number 23. Britain's Island of Death. Did you know that the UK had its own Chernobyl? Same scale of chaos, just caused by a different agent of mass destruction. Off Scotland's west coast, halfway between Gairloch and Ullapool, sits Grinyard Island. No one lives here. No one ever will. The locals, they call it the Island of Death. It was once a sacrifice zone, a place so badly damaged by people that it's basically written off forever. And in this case, the worst really did mean the worst. In 1941, the UK had a great idea. Test biological weapons. Enter Operation Vegetarian. And
what the hell?
Yeah, that was its actual name. The men in suits wanted a weapon that could be used against the Nazis. The plan was simple and horrifying. Infect linseed cakes with anthrax. Drop them over the German countryside, then let the food chain do the rest. Nothing screams brilliant strategy like turning cattle feed into bioweapons.
Imagine being able to...
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what the fuck he just said. I don't know what Kathleen and Alarax is, and I don't know what he just said, but that shit sounds crazy though.
Grinyard Island was flooded with anthrax spores. Any animals were gone in no time. Meanwhile, millions of anthrax-laced linseed cakes were cooked up, ready to drop. In the end, Operation Vegetarian was shelved before it began. But the anthrax remained. Long story short, Scotland ended up with weaponized mud. Grinyard wasn't fully decontaminated until 1990. Technically, it's safe now. Technically. Who really wants to test it, though? There could be a pocket of groundwater out there with a grudge. The Island of Death is, at least since 1990, a walk in the park, compared to the other places on our journey. Number 22.
I literally don't understand anything that dude just said. Yo, if you're watching this in the comments, you might have to break that down. I don't know what he, like, they dropped something in the ground and then what? Like, he said the food chain, so I thought he said, like, they dropped something and then maybe the cows ate it and then the beef that they produced fucked them up, or, you know, I don't know, bro. And then how did they get from their plan to invade Germany to the bro, what? Am I...
Oh!
Bro, I don't know, bro.
Paris, city of romance, pointy towers, and catacombs. In October of 2024, the zombies rose up. Okay, not really, but bodies surfaced from old quarry shafts, dumped there in the late 1700s and early 1800s. And they were just a handful out of the estimated 5 to 6 million packed below the city. Nothing says romantic getaway like a mass grave under your feet. There's even a sign that says, "Stop, this is the Empire of Death," presumably in French. 550,000 people still come to the catacombs every year anyway, but there are about 186 miles of tunnels beneath the city. Only a small section is open to the public. Thinking of exploring them? Don't count on cell service. People vanish down there. Like the 2 teenagers who went missing for 3 days back in 2017. Still sound fun? But at least in the catacombs, you're still in Paris. Try a mountain range you might have never heard of. Number 21, Mystery Mountains. Papua New Guinea's mountains. Not exactly what it's known for, but the Star Mountains in the northwest are among the least known on Earth. Introverts in ridge form. Scientists believe there could be undiscovered plants and animals hiding out there. It's like nature's unopened loot box.
Damn.
But there's a problem. A Dutch team tried exploring in 1959 and hit a major setback. The altitude crippled their helicopters. One even crashed. They did reach the summit of Puncak Mandala, but after the whole crashing thing, they noped out of mapping the rest. Who can blame them? Surveyors face another obstacle, the weather. There's no official station here, but using the scientific method of looking outside, it's one of the wettest places on Earth. Over 393 inches of rain a year. Translation, constant landslides and umbrellas. If you're considering going, sites advise you to hire local guides. Road signs are limited and the nearest town is Wamena, 90 kilometers away. So far, we've seen Scotland's Island of Death, Paris' underground Empire of Bones, and Papua New Guinea's Mystery Mountains that take on helicopters. Alright, back on the danger tour. Nothing says fun like places designed to kill you in increasingly creative ways. Number 20? This is a blue hole. But before you yell cannonball, hold up. They're watery sinkholes, just deeper, meaner, and way further from help. The deepest is the Tamjap Blue Hole in Chetumal Bay, 1,380 feet deep. But it's not all bad. There's treasure in these holes. Most formed around 20,000 years ago when glaciers peaked and the sea levels were lower. They're really just collapsed caves, which means they're packed with exotic fossils. Nature's idea of a time capsule, only harder to open. But diving in, that's asking for trouble. Blue holes don't just have unpredictable currents. Midway down, they come with a layer of hydrogen sulfide, the worst gas resume imaginable. It stinks, it's colorless, toxic, corrosive, and flammable.
Damn.
Go deeper, and you won't even find oxygen. But if you're a billionaire with toys to spare, just pack a sub. Richard Branson proved the point in 2019, funding a submersible dive into Belize's Great Blue Hole with a crew of 3. But if you don't have access to those resources, don't bother. Number 19. Even the deepest blue holes have nothing on the Mariana Trench. It's vast, stretching over 1,580 miles. But it's the depth that makes it world famous. Challenger Deep plunges 6.8 miles. That's deeper than Everest is tall. Earth flipped its mountain upside down and hid it underwater. The Mariana Trench wasn't even discovered until the 1870s, when the HMS Challenger dropped a sounding line. Real exploration didn't kick off until the mid-20th century. In 1951, the survey ship Challenger 2 measured the deepest point. A decade later, humans thought, hey, that looks fun. Swiss oceanographer Jacques Piccard And US Navy Lieutenant Don Walsh spent 5 hours descending to just above the seafloor. Apparently, the local swimming pool didn't cut it. Down there, sunlight doesn't exist. But life does, glowing in the dark like the trench's own neon signs. The most famous expedition came in 2012. Titanic's superfan and film director James Cameron became the third person to go to the bottom. He didn't find Jack. Instead, he found a unique ecosystem, the kind scientists hope could prove life is possible on icy moons like Europa. And if it's weird life systems they're after, they could also check the back of my fridge. With no light, just getting to the bottom is a nightmare. And at over 5,500 pounds per square inch, 377 times sea level pressure, the smallest mistake doesn't mean a setback. It means you've volunteered for the world's fastest implosion demo. That's why the Mariana Trench will stay unexplored for a long time. It's not a mystery keeping people out. It's the fact that the place is basically an industrial-grade trash compactor waiting for volunteers who don't want to see daylight anymore. Now from the ocean's floor to the roof of the world, number 18. Climbing Mount Everest is always dangerous, but one route cranks the risk up even higher: the Khumbu Icefall on the Nepali side. Glacial usually means slow, not here. This glacier slides 3 to 4 feet a day down Everest's flank. Fast enough to remind climbers the mountain moves whether they're ready or not. Climbers can cross the icefall, but they'd better channel their inner...
You're moving 4 feet per day. I can't tell if that's fast or if that's slow.
Oh!
Or if the mountain's that big. I don't know, bro. I'm confused, bro.
Ready or not. Climbers can cross the icefall, but they'd better channel their inner vampire. It's safest before sunrise. Cold slows the glacier down, so dawn is less about the view, more about not getting crushed. And the crevasses, terrible idea. No one goes near them unless it's to pull someone out, which is always a risk here. Avoid all these dangers, and Everest still has something up its sleeve: avalanches. Back in 2014, one of them killed 16 Nepalese climbers and injured 9 more. Between 1953 and 2016, 44 climbers were lost this way. On Everest, the mountain doesn't just loom over you. Sometimes it falls on you. Okay, let's turn up the heat now.
Golly. I still haven't seen Winnipeg though.
Oh!
So I feel like this shit tripping low key, bro. I need to see Winnipeg
Sometimes
here somewhere.
it falls on you.
I need to see Winnipeg in here somewhere.
Heat now. Number 17. Check out a map of Russia's roads and you'll spot something weird. The Kamchatka Peninsula doesn't have any, which is actually kind of hilarious. For centuries, Russia's been desperate for a warm water spot, one that has easy access to the world's oceans without a rival cutting it off. And here's Kamchatka, practically waving at the Pacific, with 0 roads going in or out. Kamchatka does have a port, Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, on its southeast tip. The good news? It doesn't freeze in winter. The bad news? There's no road or rail to the rest of Russia. So as offloading points go, it's like having a driveway with no house attached. And that's because of much deeper forces. Zoom out to look around the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, that's the Ring of Fire. It's 25,000 miles long, 310 miles wide, and it's permanently angry. The world's most intense earthquakes happen here. It's where the 4 biggest volcanic eruptions since the last ice age have blown their tops. Basically, it's Earth's most dangerous mood ring. And Kamchatka Peninsula? Right on it. It's Mother Nature's barbecue, and you don't want to attend it. It's home to one of the densest clusters of active volcanoes on Earth. NASA counts 29, which means minor eruptions and lava flows aren't rare events here. They're practically the weather forecast. Go ahead, try building a road out here. And if that already sounds bad, just wait. Ever heard of a fumarole? It's a vent that spits out volcanic gases, and the whole gang shows up. Carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, the works.
Bro,
For
said the whole
context,
gang.
sulfur dioxide is one of the main gases on Venus, and it won't be the last time Earth's evil twin crashes this story. The first major survey came in 1755. Stepan Krasheninnikov published his description of the land of Kamchatka. These days, the Russian Academy of Sciences handles the monitoring. That means a bunch of scientists stuck babysitting 29 volcanoes in the middle of nowhere. In August of 2025, the Krasheninnikov volcano, named after Kamchatka's first daring explorer, erupted for the first time in 600 years.
Wait,
Nothing like a
2025?
comeback tour after 6 centuries off. Number 16,
Holy.
The Last Frontier. Wolf Vishniak went looking for life in Antarctica's dry valleys and found it. And no, it wasn't penguins. He discovered microorganisms in one of Earth's harshest places. The frozen tundra wasn't as dead as it looked. It made life on Mars seem a little more believable. But on December 10th, 1973, his notes stopped. While working in the right range, he slipped into a crevice trying to retrieve equipment. After proving Antarctica wasn't lifeless, the continent claimed his. Vishniak was one of those explorers who gambled everything for knowledge, and this time, the house won. Surprisingly, Antarctica's dry valleys on the western edge of McMurdo Sound are among the continent's most studied. The reason's simple. There's hardly any ice, which makes them prime real estate for permanent bases like America's McMurdo Station and New Zealand's Scott Base. Antarctica's version of beachfront property. Permanent bases don't make the dry valleys easy, though. They're the coldest desert on Earth and the driest, drier than the Sahara with barely 4 inches of rain a year.
Damn.
Antarctica basically out-deserts the desert. But the extreme conditions don't end there. This place is considered a stand-in for Mars. The valleys are blasted by ultraviolet radiation thanks to Antarctica's wild sunlight cycle. 6 months of near darkness, 6 of non-stop light. Perfect for a vampire timeshare. And even with little ice here, you're not spared. What ice there is bounces UV straight back at you. Antarctica
Damn.
doesn't just give you sunburn, it goes straight for your DNA. Humans have made the place worse. From the 1930s, fridges and hairspray ripped a hole in Antarctica's ozone. The good news? The ozone is making a comeback. It's scheduled for 2040 for most of the world. Antarctica gets a delayed release, 2066. Until then, anyone heading south has to deal with UV exposure on top of everything else. Out here, without massive support, survival isn't just hard, it's a non-starter. So far, we've seen blue holes full of death gas, the Mariana Trench, aka Earth's trash compactor, and Everest's icefall, nature's version of Russian roulette at sunrise. Ready for more danger? Good, because Earth isn't
Winnipeg.
that bad ideas yet. Number 15. Head over
Africa.
to Ethiopia's Danakil Depression. You'll find what was once the strangest town on Earth, Dalol, named after a local volcano. Italian and American companies mined here for a while, but by the 1960s it was abandoned. Why? Turns out living on top of hell wasn't a long-term plan. If Antarctica is the deep freeze, Dalol is the furnace. It's the hottest year-round spot on Earth, sitting 420 feet below sea level at a tropical latitude. Average temperatures hover around 94 degrees Fahrenheit and spike up to 118. Basically, it's like living in an oven set to incinerate. But hey, Dalol does have a road now. That's a big upgrade from the 2-day camel trek it used to take. There are still valuable resources here too, like sulfur, but business has to be done carefully. Besides the heat, visitors get to meet an old friend from Kamchatka, fumaroles. They belch out sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, turning the place into yet another Venus cosplay. The kind of environment only a few dare to step into. Moving on to number 14, exploring the Amazon has always been one of the ultimate tests. It nearly broke cuddly bear enthusiast and former US President Theodore Roosevelt. And even he didn't cover it all. Huge sections of the rainforest are still off limits, at least for people who don't have a death wish. Enter the Valle do Javari. The Brazilian government keeps most people out, and with good reason. It's the size of Maine, almost entirely unexplored. Even scientists have no clue what's really living there. Think Jurassic Park, just without the gift shop. And the people that have gone to explore it, they reported hostile run-ins with uncontacted tribes. The kind who fire poison-tipped arrows first and skip the small talk. Most turned back, message received. With no expeditions on the horizon, this chunk of rainforest looks set to stay.
That's actually interesting to know that there might still be some uncontacted tribes, like somewhere that we don't know, or like civilizations and shit. That's interesting.
Unexplored. Nature has stuck.
You see, chat, that's how we watch these things, man. We be learning, bro. Educational nouns in the cup, man. Let's get it.
The do not disturb sign on this region. Number 13, Northern Greenland ice sheet. Sailing around.
Bro, where's Winnipeg, bro? We're getting too deep, bro. I don't think Winnipeg is gonna be number one, obviously, but like, bro, come on, bro. Don't play with me right now, bro.
The Cape of Good Hope was a mixed blessing. Good news, it let Europeans reach Asia without Silk Road middlemen. Bad news, the route was long, stormy, and littered with thousands of shipwrecks. Progress, 15th century style. Europe needed a new route. Enter the Northwest Passage. Nobody cracked it until Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen. Even then, it took him 3 years from 1903 to 1906. Today, it's easier thanks to warming seas, yay, climate change, and icebreakers. But northern Greenland, still not on the itinerary. Can't imagine why. No surprise there, almost all of Greenland's 57,000 people live on the southwest coast around the capital, Nuuk. Up north, Kanok, a town of about 591, outnumbered by Huskies. Beyond a US space base and a few researchers, nobody bothers. And for good reason. Winter lows hit negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit. It holds enough ice to raise sea levels by 24 feet, but it only gets less than an inch of precipitation a year. In other words, you're freezing, surrounded by ice and water, and somehow still dying of thirst, while the sun above blasts with UV on repeat. But some people like a challenge. Explorer Robert Perry got there first. He named Perryland humble. He borrowed Inuit survival skills, built igloos, and drove dog sleds across the ice chasing the true North Pole. His efforts gave the US a claim, which it swapped for something warmer, the Virgin Islands. Can't blame him. Danish explorer Knud Rasmussen came after, but Greenland's far north is still almost inaccessible. And in case you're wondering, yes, northern Greenland gets blasted with UV just like Antarctica. Summer sun never sets, and the ice bounces the radiation right back at you. Maybe the rare earth craze will change that one day, but for now, only the best prepared pros can survive here. Everyone else, toasted. Number 12, Africa's Lake of Acid. In Tanzania, there's a lake that looks straight out of the Bible. Seriously, parts of it glow blood red. It's all down to the microbes skinny dipping in its salty, alkaline waters. The pH scale spikes above 10. That's as caustic as an industrial cleaner. Any animal that dies in or near the lake turns into a calcified mummy. It's nature's taxidermy shop. Thinking of sticking a toe in this danger water? Congrats, you just got chemical burns. And that's just the warm-up act. As if the alkalinity wasn't enough, Lake Natron also bakes at up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, according to the nerdonauts at NASA. There are a few campgrounds nearby, but no permanent bases like in Antarctica. In other words, it's technically visitable if your idea of a vacation is chemical burns and heat stroke. And we've got a lot more to come. Think these places sound bad? Just wait. Some spots guarantee death, or at the very least, a very long date with the legal system. Number 11. Make a list of the world's most dangerous places, and Chernobyl's probably up there. It was the perfect recipe for a disaster. Start with the worst meltdown in history. Add a 19-mile exclusion zone, mix in 400 times the radiation of Hiroshima, and let sit for 20,000 years. Serves nobody. Bonus step, evacuate 300,000 people overnight and leave the death toll as To be determined. Radiation levels in Chernobyl have dropped enough that it's now a tourist attraction. You can visit as long as you don't hang around. You need a licensed guide. Yes, that's a real job. But some spots are still off limits, unless you enjoy glowing in the dark. The former reactor site is one, and so is the hospital basement. That's where first responders dumped their contaminated gear and clothing. It's the world's worst lost and found.
Damn.
Now we've visited a town that proved living in a furnace is bad urban planning, a region where explorers get greeted with poison-tipped arrows instead of handshakes, and northern Greenland, where even the dogs are wondering why you showed up. We've hit the top 10, and we're going to hell. Number 10. In Pamukkale, Turkey, you'll find the remains of an ancient Greek temple and a stone gate the locals once called the Gate to Hades. They weren't wrong. It's not demons, though. It's something worse. An underground fissure pumps out carbon dioxide at levels up to 53%. In 2013, archaeologists still saw birds drop dead mid-flight for getting too close.
Damn.
Hell on Earth, with receipts. Turkey even opened it to tourists in 2022. Nothing says vacation like flirting with carbon dioxide poisoning. Follow the rules, keep your distance, and you'll leave with photos. Ignore them, and it's game over. Number 9, there's a tiny speck of land in the Indian Ocean. It's 5 miles long, 4.5 miles wide, and about 23 square miles total. What's there? You don't want to find out. The Indian Navy patrols it constantly, not to guard treasure, but to keep outsiders away. This isn't a tourist spot. It's one of the last truly wild places on Earth, complete with people who very much aren't interested in meeting you. The only residents here are a Stone Age tribe, and they don't do visitors. In 2018, American missionary John Chow tried to convert them, and they weren't impressed. 2 Indian fishermen drifted too close in 2006 and met the same fate. Moral of the story, this island has a very strict no guests policy. But that doesn't stop people. In March of 2025, an American thrill seeker actually landed with gifts of Diet Coke and coconuts. Somehow, he walked away unharmed. The tribe let him go, but the Indian authorities didn't. He was arrested soon after, and it was probably the Diet Coke that did it. Number 8, Bouvet Island. On the way to Antarctica sits an island technically controlled by Norway. Emphasis on technically. It's the most isolated island on Earth. How isolated? About 1,100 miles north of Antarctica's Queen Maud Land, or as NASA puts it, 1,000 miles from nowhere.
Damn.
Not exactly a glowing tourism slogan. The nearest neighbors, Tristan da Cunha, population 238. It's a casual 1,400 miles northwest. The closest mainland, South Africa, almost 1,600 miles away. Let's just say if something goes wrong out here, rescue isn't coming. Not that you could land here anyway. The island has no safe harbor and definitely no airport. It's less remote getaway, more you're not getting away. And what would anyone get by coming here? Probably a prosecution. The Norwegian government has declared the place as a nature reserve, so what would you get for your effort? You wouldn't even be able to brag about your trip on Instagram. Number 7. In 2008, the US Geological Survey warned that 80,000 people sit in the blast zone of a very moody volcano, Mount Rainier. It hasn't erupted yet, but scientists think it's only a matter of time. That hasn't stopped the crowds, though. Between 1950 and 2018, about 440,000 people tried climbing it. 84 didn't make it back, including 11 who died in a single avalanche in 1981. And Rainier's glaciers? They hide ice caves that reflect sunlight like rainbow tunnels. Sounds magical, right until you remember they're inside an active volcano. With global warming, Rainier's glaciers are melting fast. That means spontaneous collapses. The Park Service now flat out warns people to stay away. And it's not just falling ice. The caves collect pools of carbon dioxide, like Turkey's Gate of Death, except these are too deep for any breath-holding tricks. The only visitors now are daredevil scientists with special gear and 20 minutes of oxygen, and even they need special permission. But as bad as Rainier sounds, it's a warm-up. The next places aren't just dangerous. Going there is basically signing up for your own obituary.
I think this is where we show up, chat. No bullshit. I think this is where we show up.
Number 6. France's Venusian habitat. France has its own version of Chernobyl, and in some ways it's worse. At least Chernobyl has warning signs. In northeastern France's Zone Rouge, wander in unsupervised and you won't know what you're stepping on until it's too late.
Damn.
The strangest part, this isn't some remote wasteland, it's right in the middle of Europe, and a century ago it was full of villages. Then World War I happened. 4 years of trench warfare, millions dead, and the front line barely moved a few miles.
Like landmines?
The land hasn't recovered, and neither did the villages. The red zone spreads out over 460 square miles. It's centered around the Verdun, ground zero of 1916's bloodbath. Why is it so deadly even now? Try 1 billion artillery shells fired in World War I, and about 30% failing to explode. Huge chunks of France and Belgium are basically surprise minefields. Every year, 900 tons of live explosives get dug up in the iron harvest. And in case you're wondering, yes, over 600 workers have been killed doing that cleanup. And that's still not the worst of it. The Western Front was also drenched in chemical weapons. Mustard gas, phosgene, the works. Hitler himself got a dose in World War I and was so traumatized he refused to use them in World War II. That should tell you how bad things were. Some stretches of the red zone are so soaked in toxic chemicals they've been compared to the surface of Venus. And the guns stopped firing more than a century ago. Parts won't be safe for another 7 centuries. This may be the most dangerous hiking trail on Earth. And from the hiking trail of death to the road version, number 5, Bolivia's North Yungas Road. Sounds harmless enough. It's 40 miles from La Paz to the Amazon. Easy, right? Except La Paz sits nearly 12,000 feet up. The road drops 2,000 feet at every turn. Add 200 hairpin bends, constant fog, rock slides, and 0 guardrails. One wrong move and your car stops being a car. It's gravity's newest toy. You can probably guess what happens here. Until 1994, about 300 people died on this road every year. Basically, a full passenger jet going down annually. Things have improved, but not by much. In 1998, 18 cyclists pedaled straight into oblivion. And in 2011 alone, 42 lives were lost. Tourists call it the Death Road. The road just calls it Tuesday. On the other side of the continent sits
I'm sorry.
another island under constant naval patrol. No anthrax, no spear-throwing tribes, just something worse. Brazil's Ilha da Queimada Grande, known better as Snake Island. It sits just 21 miles off Sao Paulo. It was part of the mainland until rising seas cut it off, which probably wasn't a bad thing. The unlucky residents trapped there? Thousands of venomous golden lancehead snakes. This is the only place they live, which is why the island's nickname is refreshingly honest. Snake Island. Snake Island is only 106 acres and thankfully off limits. It's to protect the snakes and, more importantly, you. Golden lanceheads are among the most venomous snakes alive. No reported human bites exist, mainly because nobody's dumb enough to go. Locals claim there's a snake for every square meter. Probably an exaggeration, but who's gonna measure? We've seen a gate that kills birds mid-flight, a road where gravity wins every time.
Wait, so they're just not gonna talk about what locals do to like work around those snakes? Like, damn, bro.
And an island so full of snakes it would turn Indiana Jones into a recluse. Now, it's time for the top 3 dangerous places.
I ain't gonna lie, chat. I'm starting to not believe this video, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This shit's kind of making me feel some type of way. And again, that's not even the type of like rep that Winnipeg needs. I don't want to promote that for Winnipeg, but you know what I'm saying? It definitely do have its moments in its areas, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Number 3, the darkest cavern. You didn't expect the top 3 to begin in Georgia, huh? The country, not the state. Kubera is the deepest known cave in the former Soviet nation. It drops nearly 7,200 feet.
Wow.
Nearly. No one's made it to the bottom. They call it the Everest of caves, but unlike Everest, no one's planted a flag at the summit in reverse. The problem? Air pressure so brutal it stops expeditions cold. And that's before you deal with nearly 10 miles of caverns, dead ends, and twists designed to ruin your day permanently. Kubera itself hasn't claimed lives, but the wider Arabica Massif has. In 2020, caver Sergei Koziev fell in the nearby Veryovkina cave, became trapped, and died of hypothermia. Recovering him wasn't easy. It took more than 100 people an entire year. Suddenly, not getting to the bottom of Kubera makes sense. At least caves advertise their danger. Other places, they're a bit more sneaky. Number 2. Ukraine had Chernobyl, and its Soviet buddy, Kyrgyzstan, didn't want to miss out on the radioactive fun. Meet Mailu Su. Unlike Chernobyl or France's Red Zone, this isn't an exclusion zone. It's a mining town, and that's what makes it worse. Around 26,000 people still lived here in 2021. Their best defense? Poverty. The ones who can afford to leave do. Everyone else gets stuck with the fallout.
Wow.
Between the 1940s and 60s, Mailu Su mined and processed over 10,000 tons of uranium. The good stuff fueled Soviet reactors and atomic bombs. The leftovers, classic Soviet management. 23 waste dumps left sitting on an unstable hillside right above town. A landslide could poison everything. And as bad as that sounds, there's something even worse. On April 16th, 1958, the Mailu Su tailings dam burst, dumping 600,000 cubic meters of radioactive waste into the river. And the disasters don't end there. In 1994, a landslide blocked the river, which then overflowed straight into another waste reservoir. Today, Mailu Su is one of Asia's most toxic spots. Locals can rattle off cancer stories the way others share family recipes. And the stats back them up. By the late 1990s, cancer rates were more than double the national average. Children are hit hardest. 1 in 5 teens had immune disorders as of 2014. In a town like this, the danger isn't what you see, it's what you can't avoid. Things have improved a little. Schools now have water filters, and millions in international aid have gone into cleanup, but the legacy remains. Here, danger isn't a sudden event, it's background noise. Life goes on until it doesn't. Mailu Su went underground to spread its poison. But caves don't need depth to kill. Sometimes just stepping inside is enough.
L video, bro. L video. I damn near don't want to finish it, but we done came this far, so I'm gonna finish it, but L video, bro.
Which brings us to number 1. Kenya's Kitum Cave.
Damn!
Isn't the deepest, just under 3,000 feet. But it's what's inside that makes it terrifying. In 1980, a Frenchman entered and soon died in agony. 7 years later, a Danish boy suffered the exact same fate. This isn't bad luck, it's the cave's calling card. So why the deaths? Animals wander in and out just fine, even elephants. But Kitum Cave is also home to Egyptian fruit bats, and their poop carries something nastier than anthrax: Marburg virus. Fatality rate up to 88%. The 2 victims likely inhaled it from powdered bat guano coating the cave floor. Death by breathing in bat dust, as if caves needed another selling point. Cavers are usually risk takers, but even they draw the line at Kitum. There are no fences or warning signs around the cave, and there doesn't need to be. Everyone already knows the cave's reward. An 88% chance at becoming medical trivia. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to...
W education, man. W education. Chat, let me know if y'all learned anything throughout this video, man. I think that I learned something, that the world is still playing with my city, bro. The world is still playing with my city. We gonna have to show y'all, bro. We might have to up something, bro. Let me not joke like that, bro. But Winnipeg, all jokes aside, bro. Stay safe. Stay calm. Maybe this is a good thing, man. Maybe it's time for us to turn a new leaf. Maybe it's time for us to just stick to other things, man. Maybe we could turn into the wealthiest city in the country or something like that, man. Let's change our rap, bro. That's what I'm on. I'm actually glad we wasn't in this video. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad, right? It's time for a new city, bro. It's time for a new rap. You feel me? But let me know how y'all felt in the comments down below. Let me know if you learned something today. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.
Yeah. I'm getting gritty on these niggas. I'm getting gritty on these bitches. Here we go, now they talking again. Yeah. I'm getting gritty on these niggas. I'm getting gritty on these bitches. Here we go, now they talking again. I'm getting gritty on these niggas. I'm getting gritty on these bitches.